So a little bit more on this zero product property, factoring in order to solve an equation. So these are quadratic equations, and we're going to factor the left side. And because the right side is equal to 0, we're able to solve the equation. Anyway, so I'm going to factor this using our AC method. All right. I know I showed y'all two methods, and I'm making this video before I hear back from you, so hopefully you like the AC method better. Probably not. Anyway, so I'm going to factor this. A times C is 2 times 15. That's equal to 30. And the B term is positive 13. All right, so because this is positive, I need two numbers that will multiply to 30, and they have to add up to give you 13. So that is 10 and 3. They multiplied to give you the AC, and they add up to give you the B. All right. After that, we're going to divide them by the A term. Okay. 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So my factored form here, this is 5. It's going to be x plus 5. That's the factor that corresponds to that. And then remember on this, we're going to take the 2 and kind of shove it up front. So it's going to be a 2x plus 3. All right. Remember, you could multiply this out just to make sure it works, but this is it. Same signs. They're both positive. Works out. To solve the equation now, you'll just set these factors equal to 0 and solve. So if you did x plus 5, if you did that, you're just going to get negative 5 for your answer. So x equals negative 5 is one answer. And then you're going to take this factor, and we're going to set that equal to 0. And we'll solve for the x. So minus 3 on both sides. 2x is equal to negative 3. And then divide by 2. So divide by 2. And you'll get negative 3/2 for your answer. Or if you wanted to make it a decimal, negative 1.5. Those are your two answers. Bam. Plug them into the original if you want to. Plug them in and make sure that they work. Okay. All right, AC method here to factor it. There's no GCF to factor out or to divide by. 3 times 4 is 12, and those have to add up to negative 13. Okay, same signs, and this means they're both negative. So it's actually going to be negative 1 and negative 12. Okay, so they multiply to 12, and they added up to the 13. There we go. Yeah, added up. Divide by 3, because that's my A term. All right, negative 12 over 3 will simplify to negative 4. Now we can write it in factored form. Let's see. This is going to be x minus 4 for that one. And this other one is 3x minus 1. Okay. Set these equal to 0 and solve. The first one is going to give you 4. This one, you'll get 3x minus 1 equals 0, plus 1 to both sides, and then divide by 3. Okay, so you'll get 1/3 for your answer, or it'd be like 0.33 repeating forever. So those are your answers here. I guess I'm going to mention this. It might save you some time. I don't know. If you like to memorize stuff, it'll help you. So if you're using the AC method like I'm doing here, if you're doing my other method, the old school method, forget this. Just keep doing that and then set the factors equal to 0. But you'll notice in both examples, if this was a negative 4 over here, the answer was positive 4. All right, that's the number that you would plug in for x to get 0. If it was negative 1/3 here, we got positive 1/3 for our answer. All right, it was the same thing up here. 5, negative 5. Positive 3/2, negative 3/2 is the answer. It gets confusing. So, and it'll get even more confusing later because we haven't exactly got to the big polynomial buildup to where we're headed. So if you want to remember that, you can remember that. If not, it's fine. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish up with this example here. I'll make a long video. So 8 times negative 3. So we got to find two numbers that multiply to negative 24 or 24, and they're going to subtract to give us 10 here. All right, that's going to be a 2 and a 12. They multiply to 24. That was my AC. And they subtract to my B term. All right, so it's a 2 and a 12. Now, because this is a negative, I know that they're going to be different signs. And then because the middle term is negative, that means my bigger number, the 12, has to be negative. And then let's go ahead and divide these. We got to divide these by 8 because that was my A term. I didn't even check about the GCF. You really do have to check on that GCF. It's going to make your life so much easier. All right, 2/8 will simplify down to 1/4, which means 4x plus 1 is a factor. 12/8, divide those both by 4, and you'll get a 3 on top and a 2 on bottom. So 2x minus 3 is the factor. All right. Let's set these equal to 0 and solve. Okay. And 2x minus 3 equals 0. So I'm guessing that on this one, I'm going to get the opposite of this. So negative 1/4. And that's right. You'll subtract 1 and then divide by 4. So you get negative 1/4. And on this one, I'm guessing I'm going to get positive 3/2. You'll plus 3 to both sides. And then divide by 2. And that's how it happened. Man, it sure is. It's a big coincidence, isn't it? Probably not. If you wanted to write them in decimal form, just throw them in a calculator. This one is 1.5, and this one is negative 0.25. That's all.